I'm Shafiq Qureshi. Ielts listening. In Ielts listening, we are given 40 questions to answer, and there are four different sections in the Ielts listening. Each section has at least 10 questions to answer. It means there are total 40 questions which we have to answer in Ielts listening. And this test, Ielts listening, is the same for both academic and general candidates. In among these four tasks or four parts, the first part and the second part is pertaining to the social matters. For example, you talk about the traveling, functions, and different other things which are pertaining to the social matters. These two parts, part 1 and part 2, which comprises about 20 questions, they are pertaining to the social matters. And the other two parts or the sections, section 3 and 4, which also comprise 20 questions, they are about the academic pursuits. In the first part of the listening test or listening module, there are 10 questions, and these 10 questions are related to the social matters. For example, you want to undertake some travel, you are going for the bookings, and different other things which are absolutely related to your everyday life. So they are the part of this Ielts listening section 1 that comprises 10 questions or where you have to answer 10 questions. Let me give you one very important tip in this section. This is the section in which you must answer all the questions correctly. And there is no reason that why couldn't we answer even one question. We can easily answer all the questions, that is all the 10 questions. But what is the fundamental prerequisites to give all the correct answers? Number one, and the most important thing in this task is your concentration, your active listening. Although you have to answer the question with the word, you have to use the exact word, but the discussion that is going on among more than one persons, maybe two, more than one persons, they are talking with each other, and you just have to listen carefully what they talk about, and you have to extract the exact word to answer the questions. But the things or the words or the sentences which are written on the questions, they are not compatible to the words which are used by the speakers, which are more than one. The speakers are more than one in this section. They will use, it means they will frequently use synonyms or different other words, and this process of using different words is called paraphrasing. And in my few videos, I have elaborately discussed what is paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is the process in which we use different styles, but the message is the same. This is called the paraphrasing. So these 10 questions, the first part is in the form of a note, N-O-T-E, note. It could be in the form of a table, T-A-B-L-E, table. It could be in the form of a form, F-O-R-M, form. So you see that the speakers would speak with different accents. You understand the pronunciation is the same. That is a standard one. When we talk about English, definitely we have just two school of thoughts. One is called the Cambridge and another is called Oxford. And if we speak English in different styles, this is called the accent. It could be spoken, they might speak with the American accent, with British accent, with the Australian accent, with the accent that prevails in New Zealand or different other parts of Europe. So you must get accustomed of using or understanding different accent. For example, a speaker might speak, "The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain." So the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. So this is the accent. This is not pronunciation. This is not the proper British style. Rather, it is one of the dialects. D-I-A-L-E-C-T-S, dialects. There is a difference between pronunciation and the dialect. Dialect is the style. So the people who are speaking, they could speak with different accents. So you must get accustomed of understanding different accents. So in this task, you simply have to fill the gaps, or you have to answer in just one word. And I request you all people that please, before you answer any question, please understand the question thoroughly. You must underline or you must understand what are the key words which are given in the question. In most of these cases, the first section I talk about, which comprises 10 questions to be answered, you may have to fill some gap and you have to use exact word which is spoken by the speakers, any one of the speakers. But one thing is quite certain, the style of speaking. For example, if I want to say behind, I can use the expression in the back of something. So the style could be changed. So you might fill the gap or you have to answer any question in just one word and the answer would be given by the speaker. For example, I want to know the name of somebody and the person is telling me the name. He uses two words in the name, or one word is written in the question and another word we have to write just to fill the gap. So the speaker or the person who has to give the answer would speak the word and the person who is asking the name ask about the spellings of the name and this person is talking about or telling the spellings of the word and we have to understand the spellings and keep on writing. And the same way, I'm asking the cell number, telephone number of somebody, and the person is telling me the number. I have the time to write the answer, means the telephone number, and the gap would be given in the blank in which I have to write down in the form of blank where I have to write down the cell number of the person who is telling me his or her number, and during the course of listening to the person, I keep on writing the cell number of a person. Same goes for the address. Maybe part of the address is given and rest part of the address I have to write down, and the person is telling me the address, so I have to exactly write the address which is spoken by the person without bringing any sort of change into it. But I tell you the truth, I tell you, frequently I have discussed one thing with you, that the style of the speaker just to answer the question would be absolutely incompatible or different from the words which are given on the question. So you have to take care for the instructions. For each question, instructions would be given to you, and you have to thoroughly understand the instructions. For example, if in the question it is written that your answer shouldn't be more than one word or two words, so you should not answer the question in two words if they ask you to answer the question in one word. Otherwise, this would be deemed a wrong answer. Please, you have to take care for the instructions. And this part that comprises 10 questions may be divided into two different parts. In one part, different types of questions would be asked. In another part, another type of questions would be asked. But you would be given proper time to read the questions. You would be having regular pauses. In that particular pause, you have to listen, you have to read the questions, and you understand the question, and then the speakers would start speaking, and from the speakers you have to extract the exact answer of the question. But again, I tell you that they would use paraphrasing. So this is about the first question in the Ielts listening, and this is common for both academic as well as general candidates or students.